With a $300 price gap, one of these laptops quietly dominates in ways you'd never guess from the specs alone. You're choosing between the MacBook Air's Apple M3 and the Aspire's Intel Core 3100U, with 8 cores versus 6 cores, and base frequencies of 4.05 GHz for the MacBook Air and 1.2 GHz for the Aspire, plus a 3-nanometer process on the MacBook Air against 10 nanometers for the Aspire, though these numbers don't translate directly across architectures. What actually matters is that the MacBook Air scores meaningfully higher in real-world benchmarks, so you'll notice smoother multitasking and editing. If your day involves coding or heavier workloads, the MacBook Air simply handles more at once and stays responsive. Every benchmark on screen shows the MacBook Air pulling ahead, with the biggest difference in multi-core results. You're choosing between the MacBook Air's Apple M3 GPU with 10 cores and the Aspire's Intel UHD with 64 execution units, both integrated designs. On paper, the MacBook Air claims 3.5 teraflops while the Aspire lists 1.3 teraflops, but these numbers aren't directly comparable. Real-world graphics performance will depend more on software optimization and the specific creative or gaming apps you use. A 13.6-inch IPS LCD on the MacBook Air gives you richer colors than the Aspire's 15.6-inch TN LCD. The higher 2560 by 1664 resolution on the MacBook Air means sharper images and more detail for your work or streaming. Both offer a 60 Hz refresh rate, so motion smoothness is identical in daily use. MacBook Air reaches 500 nits while Aspire tops out at 300 nits, so sunlight or overhead lights are less of a problem for you. Neither model offers a touchscreen, but only MacBook Air supports Dolby Vision HDR, which means richer highlights in supported content. The MacBook Air uses a glossy screen and Aspire uses matte, so you're choosing between reflections and glare reduction. At 225 pixels per inch versus 141 pixels per inch, MacBook Air's display looks sharper, making text and images more comfortable to view. With 52.6 watt-hours for the MacBook Air and 53 watt-hours for Aspire, their battery size difference is negligible. Charging speeds are 30, 35, or 70 watts for MacBook Air and 65 watts for Aspire, but the real-life impact is trivial. Both rely on USB-C charging, so your cable routine stays the same regardless of which you choose. Both the MacBook Air and Aspire ship with 8 GB of RAM as standard at this price. Each uses LPDDR5 memory, and neither model allows you to upgrade the RAM after purchase. There is no difference between them for memory in the base configuration, so multitasking will feel the same. With 256 GB of storage as standard, both offer SSD, M.2, drives, and NVMe support at this price. You won't notice any difference in speed or capacity in typical use. However, only the Aspire lets you add more storage later, so you can expand as your needs grow. MacBook Air is lighter at 1.24 kilograms, while Aspire weighs 1.77 kilograms, so carrying it feels easier all day. The MacBook Air is also slimmer at 11.3 millimeters versus Aspire's 17.9 millimeters, making it less bulky in your bag. Both use aluminum, so the premium feel is similar no matter which you choose. Both offer Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3, so your wireless experience will feel identical whichever you choose. The MacBook Air gives you 2 USB 4.0 ports, while Aspire only offers one, which means less juggling of accessories. Thunderbolt 3 on the MacBook Air lets you connect high-speed drives or displays, while Aspire lacks this option entirely. Both include an audio jack, but the MacBook Air's extra ports and Thunderbolt support make connecting gear much simpler. MacBook Air and Aspire both offer a backlit, island-style keyboard, but Aspire gives you 1.4 millimeters of key travel for a cushier feel. Aspire also includes a numpad, which makes entering numbers much quicker if your work involves spreadsheets or data entry. Both laptops feature a 1080p FHD webcam and a fingerprint reader, so you're covered for video calls and secure logins. Aspire's longer key travel and numpad make extended typing sessions and number entry more comfortable throughout your day. With just one CPU option, the MacBook Air gives you a simpler decision, while 3 choices on the Aspire let you tailor performance to your needs. The MacBook Air gives you 8 GB, 16 GB, or 24 GB of RAM and 256 GB, 512 GB, 1 TB, or 2 TB of storage, so you can fine-tune memory and space more precisely than with the Aspire's 8 GB or 16 GB of RAM and 256 GB, 512 GB, or 1 TB of storage. The MacBook Air costs $999, and the Aspire is $699, so that's a $300 gap. That extra money gets you the MacBook Air's stronger performance, higher benchmark scores, and brighter screen, but the Aspire is the better deal here. The MacBook Air comes in black, silver, and gray, while the Aspire is only available in gray. Both prices are listed in the description below. MacBook Air is for those who want the fastest performance, sharper 2560 by 1664 resolution, and the premium, lightweight design with better connectivity and more configuration choices. If you prioritize a lower price or need more storage flexibility at this price, skip MacBook Air. The honest hesitation: you pay $300 more and give up upgradable storage. Aspire is for buyers who want the most storage flexibility and a comfortable typing experience at the lowest price, especially if you value upgradability. If you demand the sharpest screen or the lightest chassis, skip Aspire. The one reason to hesitate: the 1920 by 1080 resolution is noticeably less crisp than what you get elsewhere at higher prices. Which would you pick, the MacBook Air or the Aspire, and why? Drop a comment, like the video, and subscribe to Computer Matrix for more honest laptop comparisons.